welcome to Tomahawk Talk, Episode 9. I'm Luke Hardin.
And my name is David Waters. Welcome in, everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
We got our top 10 second baseman ready to go. We're super excited. But first, I think we got a little bit of Braves news to go over. Do we actually? I don't know if we do. We have MLB news to go
We
over.
do have MLB news. Trevor Rosenthal was signed with the Oakland Athletics for 1 year, $11 million last night. And also happened last night, Fernando Tatis signed a 14-year, $340 million contract. Wow.
Yeah, we have some slight news to talk about there.
Yeah, that's kind of like big.
That's kind of a big deal.
Just a little bit.
So, we'll go over that. What else we got? Brian Dozier has announced his retirement.
Yes.
One of my favorite non-Brave players to watch. And Mariners also got Ken Giles. So, oh yeah, and Shane Bieber has tested positive for COVID, and JT Realmuto fractured his thumb. So,
I did see that.
we got a couple things to go over. We'll just start off with the biggest news. Brian Dozier. Just kidding. Tatis.
I mean, the guy hasn't even played a full 162 games, and he's getting. I don't even know what the contract like finance it, what they're doing there, but it's a lot of money. I can tell you that.
So I saw a David O'Brien tweet. What did it say? I posted on my story. Hang on, my speaker's still on.
I'm on
let
Twitter,
me find it.
so.
Let me go find that real quick. So the Braves will pay Ronald Acuna Jr. $124 million over 10 years, and Albies $45 million over 9 years, assuming they pick up 2 option years on each player. That's a total of $169 million. Nice. For 19 combined years of those two. The Padres will pay Tatis $340 million. It's almost a $170 million difference. And they're paying one player that much. We're paying 2 players that much. 2 superstars.
Yeah, and they're also paying Machado $300 million for the next 10 years.
Since when did they have? I don't get it.
And then not to forget Eric Hosmer too. So who knows where they're getting all their money?
Whoever the Padres owner is, they're living the good life.
AJ Preller is a aggressive GM. I don't know who their owner is, but AJ Preller is not afraid to pull the trigger.
The owner of the Padres is Peter Sedler. I don't know how you say that. Seidler.
No clue.
I don't know who that is.
Never heard of him.
So never mind. They're owned by a lot of people, actually.
Anything's better than Liberty Media.
Anything. DFA Liberty Media.
Liberty.
We have to say that every.
That's just become a mainstay. We're gonna find a way to put that into every episode.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And every live stream and literally everything that we do is DFA Liberty Media.
Yes.
We gotta make our message be known. So, the Padres are owned by a team of 7 people. So, when you're owned by 7 people instead of a corporation, you tend to probably spend more money, straight up.
And they're probably going to sign Blake Snow long-term potentially. So they're
maybe
definitely
Darvish.
not. Maybe Darvish. They're not
maybe
close
Clevenger.
to done. Yeah, they're nowhere
Maybe
near done. So
maybe all 3. I mean, who knows? Literally, every team needs to have owners that are willing to spend money. And if owners are not willing to spend money, that's bad for the game of baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's bad for the fans. So, yeah, DFA Liberty Media immediately. All right. That's if all this hype around Tatis is just all for naught, and he winds up like battling a bunch of injuries throughout his career, this contract's really gonna hurt the Padres. This is really they're taking a huge gamble here.
Yeah, they're taking a huge risk on a guy that still hasn't even played a full season.
How many games has he played?
152.
152. So basically a full season so far. A 301 career hitter. With 39 bombs and 27 stolen bases. I mean, this guy's only 21 years old, so that's pretty insane. That's crazy, honestly. This contract is nuts. 162 game average so far, 44 homers and 31 stolen bases. I mean, 956 OPS, 154 OPS plus. This guy's a monster. Definitely has some MVPs up his sleeve in the future, and soon to become one of the best players in baseball. He might already be one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah.
Depending on where you stand on him. I don't think he's like top 10 yet, but we'll see what he does in 2021. I feel
he's
like
definitely the number one like media, or like he brings the attention to the game of baseball. I think he's the number one. What's the word I'm looking for?
the
I
hype.
don't know. He's like the sort of like the face of like baseball, like social media wise. Like obviously Mike Trout, he's the face of baseball. I think like the new era of what we're moving into with like, let the kids play. I think Tatis literally that's what he resembles.
Yeah, it's Acuna, it's Albies, I guess you could throw Baez in there, even though he's been around a little while longer.
Yeah.
They used to be really big into Aaron Judge as well, but he's not as exciting because he gets hurt all the time. But
Yeah.
There's a lot of young talent in baseball. I mean, Tim Anderson also deserves a little more credit. This guy's a huge hype. He's just a hype beast. Just the bat flips, everything. He's just definitely a new school type of player. Madrigal's kind of going to be there for a while as well up in Chicago. A lot of great young talent coming up, and I can't wait to see what's next. I don't know if Wander Franco. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I don't know which way is correct. He's how old is he? He's like 9. Is he still 18?
I think he's 9. Let me check. I think he's 19. Yeah, he's 19. March 1st, so he'll be 20. He'll be 20 by the regular season if
he'll be 20
there.
in less than a month. And this guy in the minors has done nothing but raked. This guy's hit 336 in the minors as a 17, 18, and 19-year-old. I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he's walked 83 times and only struck out 54 times. Like, what are we? I mean, how? That's crazy.
I tell you, there's something Tampa Bay knows. I mean, they scout these dudes, these guys. I think they got what, eight guys in the top 100 list.
Yeah, probably. And they turn out
I mean,
they win literally every trade they make.
Yeah. Like, I know everybody's looking at the fact like they traded Blake Snell, but somehow the Rays are going to wind up like Luis Patino is going to wind up being some like, top 3 pitcher in the league somehow, and then he's going to like everybody's going to look back and be like, wow, that they really won that trade. I don't get it, but the Rays are going to Ray, and that's just what they do.
And the Padres also have Mackenzie Gore coming up, so they didn't really need Patino.
Yeah. They don't need any more pitching, I can tell you that. They got Musgrove, Snell, Darvish already on top of Lamet and Gore, and then maybe even Paddock. I don't know what they're going to do with Paddock, but
it makes me wonder, like, are the Braves, is Anthopoulos ever going to trade away like some of our pitching prospects for like a really good superstar player? It's an interesting thing to think about.
I think at this point in time, I mean, guys like Ian Anderson, I was a big supporter of Ian Anderson before he got called up, I thought he was gonna be a stud like he is already, and I think I think Kyle Muller's one of like I've said multiple times. I think he's one of my favorite prospects.
You
I
think?
think there is lenience for guys like Kyle Wright. I think you can Kyle Wright, Bryce Wilson. Um, I think anybody else in the prospect list is expendable at this point. If we're going to go
Yes.
try to win a championship, so
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're already World Series contenders, so like, might as well get just a little better. It's amazing that the Braves are able to be a World Series contender with the budget that we have. Like, we do not spend nearly as much money as the Padres and Dodgers, and I guess even the Mets at this point, and but yet we're still in the hunt for it like every year. So that's something to consider. But it just makes you wonder. Just if we had good owners, I think it makes you wonder just how much better could we be if Liberty Media wasn't holding us back.
yeah.
Food for thought. So, anyways, there's the Tatis news. That's pretty big. JT Realmuto is questionable for opening day for the Phillies after fracturing his thumb. I think that happened, I guess, yesterday. I don't know.
I assume that happened today. I'm not. The news was today, so I assume it was today. I don't know.
So he's questionable for opening day. That could be a big loss early on for the Phillies. Good.
Especially, don't we? I think we play them in Philly opening weekend, don't we?
We sure do.
Yeah.
So
So that's something to
advantage
definitely
us.
keep an eye on.
I think we would have the advantage either way, but even more of an advantage if JT Realmuto's gone.
Facts.
So, let's see. Luis Severino coming back from didn't he have Tommy John surgery? Yes, he did. He is back on the mound for the Yankees. The Yankees also have a lot of interest in re-signing Brett Gardner. It is likely. Heyman says it's likely. Otani's back on the mound with the Angels. And we never talked about Albert Almora to the Mets. That's not a big deal, though. So, Detroit Tigers signed Willie Peralta. That's another thing. But let's talk about the relievers. Ken Giles to the Mariners and Trevor Rosenthal to the Oakland A's. So we'll start with the bigger one of those two. Trevor Rosenthal to the A's, 1 year, $11 million deal. Correct?
That is correct.
Good. I was expecting you to talk about it or something.
Oh, sorry. I mean, Rosenthal, he got traded over to the Padres. He was a big part of their bullpen towards the end of the year, obviously. The playoffs, excuse me. The playoffs didn't really turn out the way they wanted to. He obviously didn't re-sign. They got Mark Melanson, Keelan Kella, other guys, and Oakland A's. So I think it's good. I think it's obviously not Liam Hendricks, but I think payroll wise for a team like the A's, I think it's a good signing. So
I think it's a good signing, but I think it's also very risky. I don't see Rosenthal being like a back of the bullpen guy. I mean, I guess yes he is, but a piece of my microphone just fell off. That can't be good. So, dang, what happened to my microphone? Hang on, everyone.
what did you do?
All right, we're back. My microphone is fixed. It just came unscrewed somehow, so had to screw it back in, which is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But anyways, Trevor Rosenthal. I don't remember what I was saying. I was like a back of the rotation type of guy, or back of the bullpen type of guy, not rotation. This guy, from 2012 until 2015, this guy was an elite closer, one of the best in the game, was an all-star in 2015. 2016 took a big step back, had an ERA around 4.5 and a whip approaching 2. 2017 was a little better, but not the same production he put up in 2015. Did not pitch in 2019 or 2018, sorry. 2019 was very rough. 15 in the third innings, gave up 23 earned runs, ERA of 13.5, whip of 2.413, and then all of a sudden in 2020, this guy pitched 23 and 2/3 innings and gave up only 5 earned runs, an ERA of 1.90, a FIP of 2.22, and a whip under 0.85. So solid pickup for them, but it's a little risky given his struggles before 2020. So
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting how he fits into that bullpen. Obviously, they got Diekman. They traded for Adam Kolarek, I believe is how you say his last name, from the Miami Marlins, or
I couldn't tell
he
you.
was with the Marlins. They also have AJ Puck, who I don't know how AJ Puck's going to slot into that team, if he even will be on that team beginning of the year. Lou Trevino and JB Wendelken and Sergio Romo. So I think it'll be interesting. How the way the A's run their bullpen, interesting. I think they will. They got a good starting rotation with Mania,
Montas
Fires,
Who else do they
Bassett.
have? Oh yeah, Bassett might
Bassett.
be their number 1. I don't know. Who's their
I don't know
number
who their
5 starter?
5 will be, but it'll be
AJ Puck, maybe. Might
possibly.
be AJ Puck.
It might be AJ Puck. So we'll see. I think they have an interesting structure on how they run their team, but they always seem to, much like the Rays, I think they always find a way. So I think it'll be interesting.
Another move in the AL West, Ken Giles to the Mariners. This is a guy I kind of wanted the Braves to go after. This was, I believe it was a relatively cheap deal as well. I think it was 2 years, $7 million. $7 million. He'll only earn $1 million in 2021, which is weird. $5 million in 2022, but there's a $500 buyout, $500,000 buyout. Sorry, and a
$500 buyout. That'd be really weird.
And a $500,000 signing bonus. So that $7 million. That's a very cheap deal. I think that's very affordable. Ken Giles. Let me pull up his stats here. Not a great 2020, but he only played in 4 games, 3 innings, 3.2 innings, 4 earned runs, gave up 2 bombs, but clearly something wasn't right. I think he was hurt, most likely.
Yeah,
but
he was coming off injury.
But 2019, this guy was a different story. Picked up 23 saves in 53 games, 1.87 ERA, a 2.27 FIP, and a whip of exactly 1. So, and then in 2018, 26 saves. ERA was a little elevated, but it wasn't bad by any means. He was a 2017 Astro. Got to point that one out. But 34 saves with that team in 2017. I don't think relievers had to do much with the cheating scandal. He just didn't stop it. But yeah, whatever. let's just not even get into that. We could make an episode on the 2017 Astros scandal because that would be very interesting. That would be an interesting topic.
That would
Just to go over again. We might
We'd have
revisit
a
that
lot to
next.
say.
We might go over that next off season if we don't have anything else to talk about. We might talk about the cheating scandal and bring it back up and
Potentially.
bash AJ Hinch again. Anyways, the final Major League Baseball news we have is Brian Dozier has announced his retirement after, I think it was an 11 year career. This guy was a very, very good second baseman for the Twins for a very long time. Spent how many years with the Twins? 7 years, 167 bombs in those 7 years in Minnesota. Batting average a bit low at 248, 772 OPS. Not bad by any means for a second baseman. Got some MVP votes in 3 seasons. Won a Gold Glove, was an All-Star in 2015. I think he also compete in he didn't compete in a Homer Derby. That was Justin Morneau, I believe, when Target Field held the Home Run Derby. And this guy hit 42 homers in 2016 as a second baseman. This guy was traded in the middle of 2018 to the Dodgers, but once he left the Twins, he was never the same. With the Nationals in 2019, he hit 20 homers and hit 238, but obviously not the same player he used to be. But spent 2020 in the Mets and Padres organization, should I say. Did not hit a single homer. It was hit 2 for 15. No homers, struck out 5 times. A 321 OPS. Obviously not the best way to end his career, but this is always a guy who's easy to root for with the Twins. I don't know, just a very solid under the radar guy. I think he was very underrated in his time with the Twins, with like Altuve getting all the hype. But Dozier, best of luck in retirement. And you got anything, Luke?
Great career. His 2015 season was really good. But also, speaking of second baseman, our top 10 list for second baseman are in. This is the main primary episode for our second baseman. So,
but first, last episode, I had a little segment where we transitioned into a sponsorship that was not actually there. And I figured out how to do it, but it was a little too late at that point. So here's a little shout out from our sponsor at Anchor.